celebrating and showcasing some of the most amazing people around the world who are doing incredible things to make our world a better place. This is CUTV News. I'm Jim Masters. Thanks for joining us. Joining me on the show today is special guest Paula Vail. Paula is a noted and respected Usui Reiki master, teacher, published author, inspirational speaker, coach, and radio and TV host. She's also the owner of Wellness Inspired. Prior to her Reiki practice and radio show, Paula was a Tacoma, Washington area restaurant manager and owner for some 27 years, finding great joy in the service of others. Paula has had a Reiki practitioner experience, and she's been a Reiki practitioner for some 10 years now. She's passionate about the wonderful healing power of Reiki. Reiki has had a life-changing effect on her life as well, and she loves sharing the gift of Reiki with others. Now, in her business and in her life, she strives to teach the true essence of Reiki and to continue to grow her knowledge and expertise. She has brought her talents to radio and television, becoming a host of her first internet talk radio show on Voice America called For the Love of Reiki. The show then changed its name to Choices, Finding Your Joy. Paula's training includes various Reiki teachers, including William Lee Rand, whose workbooks and guidelines she uses in her teachings. She's had the great honor of receiving her Usui Master Training in Peru as well. She's also a Level 3 Master in Serenity Vibrational Healing with crystal bowls and illumination. Paula is also involved in ongoing training in shamanism and quantum healing techniques. She's won numerous awards and countless accolades for her work, and she was even featured on the huge billboard in New York City's Times Square. Her book, Why Am I So Happy?, is revolutionary, and we're going to talk about that during this interview. Paula loves doing charity work in the United States and around the world, serving and giving to people and animals as well. She's also passionate about respecting and working with others to save our planet. It is my great honor and pleasure to welcome our special guest, Paula Vail, to CUTV News for our exclusive one-on-one interview. Paula, thank you so very much for joining us. A real honor and a pleasure to have you here on CUTV News. And thanks for coming all the way here to the East Coast to our studio. We really appreciate it. How was your trip? Did you enjoy it? Knowing you, you probably met a lot of wonderful people on that flight and got some wonderful connections going on that flight as well.
Yes. Well, first, thank you, Jim. And yeah, it was a great flight over, and yes, I always do tend to meet people, chat, and just have a really good time.
One of the great things about you that I like in the conversations I've had with you, even off air, Paula, is this positive spirit and mindset that you have. Where does that come from? Is that in your DNA? Because I know you like to manifest positivity, empowerment, inspiration, as an inspiration coach. So tell us about where you think that comes from deep inside Paula Vail.
I do really think it is deep inside. My whole life I've been very gratitude oriented. And I think it triggers from the fact I was a preemie baby, 2 pounds something, not supposed to survive the night. And I survived. So I've always had a grateful heart.
A survival instinct
I was
as well,
meant to survive, and I'm going to be grateful. And I've, just always had the mindset, I'm going to choose to be happy. We all have challenges. We all have things that happen and that we go through, but we make a choice what direction we're going to take. And I've always felt I had a server's heart. And I've always had a lot of joy in helping other people have more joy. Sharing a smile, something as simple as sharing a smile, opening a door, little things like that, or a gift we give ourselves.
Do you ever feel like you're fighting a tide that's going in another direction? A lot of people talk about how civility is disappearing and how respect is going away and how we're so absorbed in our own lives and what we're doing, and we're not holding the doors and we're not saying thank you, and we're connected technologically but not really connected humanistically. Do you find sometimes in all of this positivity and the desire to bring happiness to people that you're fighting against the tide?
Yes, yes. And really, all we can do as individuals is be an example. Be what we are. Put out to others in the universe what we are. Something I tell my Reiki students, we talk about, it's everyday life, it flows like a river. Okay? So we're in this beautiful flowing manifestation river, you could call it, to the divine source, whatever you want to call it. And on top of the river is waves, okay? And there's going to be rocks. There's going to be things, and these are challenges in life, things that might irritate us. And that water just hits those rocks. We have a choice. We can be the wave, and we can be hitting those rocks, hitting those logs, and in pain and anger, or we can be the warm, loving flow of that manifestation river. And, you know, see those rocks. Go through, past those rocks, where we go. But don't take that in. Deal with it, go around the rock. The river may go another direction. A challenge may send us in another direction. But there can be positive things coming from that in what we put out there and accepting. I think a lot of life is when we have challenges and things we go through, we don't want to accept it. And so we continue to fight it and fight it.
Or block
instead.
it or suppress
Yes.
it. Oh, this too shall pass. Or,
Yes.
you know, I'm not going to deal with it head on because it's too painful, or I just don't want to relive it again. But sometimes you actually have to confront pain. You have to deal with it. And if it has to rise to the surface when you tap into it, it's almost like a rebirth or a cleansing. It can be worse if you don't deal with things that are lingering sometimes.
Yes.
Is there truth to that, you think?
Yes, I do. I mean, deal with it, look at it, make a decision how you're going to move on and handle it. Make a decision with compassion and love, and then move on.
So, in the life of Paula Vail, positive, happy, with a wonderful smile, but even Paula Vail, as we all do, has gone through trials and tribulations and things in her own life as well that have brought you to this point of being so positive and having this manifestation of wanting to empower people, right?
Yes, yes. And I really feel it's, in a way, I look at it as a blessing, the things I've gone through. Losing family members, having gone through a crash and an injury, pain, you know, suffering things, being a single mother, running a business. But I feel that has helped me have more understanding and empathy for others that are going through things like that.
How did you get to that point? Because as oftentimes we're going through those things and dealing with the day-to-day of how to get through the loss of a spouse, a loved one, some people a child, perhaps maybe trying to create a business, all these different things. You can feel very alone. You can feel like you're on a raft by yourself. You're so fraught with dealing with the issues day to day as they're happening. How do you get from that point to being able to turn that around and find light in all of that?
For one, I really believe in staying open to manifestation and what can come through in a positive way. I see it as we have two hands. With this hand, I'm going to have my goals. I'm going to have what I strive for, what I work for, what I'm passionate about and want to accomplish. But I'm going to not be so focused on that that I may block things that I've never dreamed possible, things that could manifest. So on this hand, I'm doing my work, I have my goals, but you know what? This hand is wide open to source and manifestation and what may come through. And so I believe when you have the challenges, you do everything you can to address it, move on. To help you be positive is to know, I don't know what's going to come, but I trust. And I will allow beautiful, positive things to come into my life. Life will improve.
Now, in order to, on that sort of train of thought still of getting to that point, how we can get out of the stuckness of a situation and move on to find that light, find that positivity, were there people in your life that showed you the light, or did you have to find it yourself deep within? Were there people who influenced you, people that you could count on that helped you through things, or was it all the survivor that Paula is that pulled you through a lot of these different things in your life and continue to today?
Yeah. Well, with growing up, there were things with family that was very challenging and heartbreaking, but then there were those few, also family members that helped make me strong. In junior high, I was what you'd call a bullying victim. I was teased a lot. I was very shy. But it was a family member helped me realize, you just be you, and you just be proud of you and move on. So I did have that, which I'm really grateful for. But a lot of for me, a lot of what got me through a lot of my challenges was my animals, my pets. I'm a big pet lover. And then once becoming a mother, I just, found that to be the greatest joy in the world. So there's just been both, the negatives and the positives. And so it's the direction I leaned.
Have you always been a caretaker type? Always caring for others and helping people through and wanting to heal them and make their lives better?
I think I have. I've kind of always felt I have a server's heart. But that's brought me joy.
So Paula, being a caretaker type, a giver in service to others, how do you not fall victim to either being vulnerable or taken advantage of sometimes by others when they realize that you're going to run to their aid, you're going to be there to serve others? How do you handle that?
That's a great question, Jim, because that can be a challenge. Because you are serving others, you want to help others, and you have to really be able to keep your eyes open and look at situations and what you're doing and say, okay, this is what I'm doing, I'm fulfilled, this is going well, or this is a situation that may be hurting me, or maybe going in a negative direction. And you have to look at that lovingly and say if I need to let this go or if I need to set a standard. And especially when you're someone who's very empathic and just your heart goes out to others, that can be a challenge. I mean, you really do have to find balance, and you have to remember, I believe, love yourself first. Because if we let negative things come in and criticize ourselves and forget how beautiful we are and how in control we are of our own life and happiness, that's number one. And by remembering that and loving ourselves, that enables us to do so much for others and help others, because love empowers us.